Hi friends, welcome back. Welcome to my channel Techie Krish or GEG Agra. So in discussion of Python programming for the students of computer science and informatics practices and artificial intelligence also. Today I am going to discuss an accumulator which is very useful and frequently we use in programming, and along with it I'll also use some iterables, concatenation, id function, append and extend. So in today's video, I'll cover iterables, concatenation, and ID. So let's move to our document or presentation. So this is my presentation. Accumulators with lists and tuples. So what happens sometimes? So we find the concatenation or the addition of list and tuples, list and list, tuples and tuples. So if such kind of questions we see in our paper or in our exam, then we used to get and fixed how to find out the output, how to evaluate that output. So the same discussion we are going to present here. So start with our presentation. So this plus equal is the accumulator, and we are applying this on tuples and lists. As you know, list and tuple, both the types are new for 11th computer science and informatics practices. Means when we start Python, so we come across such kind of types, that is list and tuples, and list is basically the mutable type and the tuple on contrary to list is immutable type. So what are the points of discussion here? So we'll discuss iterables, concatenations, id, append and extend. So in this part I'll discuss iterables. So what is iterable? So an iterable is a collection whose elements can be accessed one by one in a sequence. For example, lists, tuples, strings, dictionaries, sets and range. So these are the types in which we use iterables, because we have to access the element one by one and in the sequence. For example, list, tuple, strings, dictionaries, sets and range. So what is concatenation? So concatenation basically is joining of the string. Concatenation is a process of joining the two objects to get the bigger object. For example, if I add list to list, means concatenation of the list will give you the list, so bigger list. Concatenation of tuple will give you the bigger tuple. Concatenation of a string will give you the biggest string. For example, 5 comma 6, this is a list, and if we concatenate this list with another list which is having 9 and 10 as a list, 9 10 is also a list. So when we concatenate these two lists, then you'll find all the elements are merged and concatenate, or the last list is added to the bottom of the first list. So 5 and 6 elements belong to the first list and 9 and 10 elements belong to the second list. So second list is added to the first list, and means we can join these two lists So first list will come first and the last list will come in the last. Similarly with tuple, so 5 and 6, suppose this is a tuple and another tuple is x and y. So this is a string, x is a string, y is a string. So this is a tuple of strings. When we concatenate these two, so it gives 5, 6, x and y. So this is called the concatenation. So all elements are both the tuples are merged and it becomes the biggest or bigger tuple. Same is with the strings. Suppose one string is hello and another is word. So when we apply the concatenation means plus sign, then you'll see hello word is joined together. Both the words are joined together means the second word is joined with the first word and concatenated in the end. So this way we can apply concatenation. So still we have some more examples on concatenation. For example, if I have a list and I want to concatenate with it with the tuple, is it possible? Or the vice versa, list with string or tuple. So list plus tuple is not possible. Similarly, list with string is also not possible. What is ID? So ID is a function. Normally, the students take it very lightly. So the students should not take it very lightly because it plays very important role. Why? Because it gives the memory location, returns the address of the memory location storing any specific value or pointed to by the variable we are using. Correct? For example, say a is an integer, b is also an integer. So both the integers, they are the integers, and that is why you can say these integers are not iterables. Why? Because neither they are the lists, tuples, or the strings, and that is why a and b are not counted as the iterables. But when we talk about c is equal to 5 and 6, so this is a list. D is equal to high, this is a string, this is iterable. 5 and 6, this is a list, so this is also iterable. E is equal to 5 and 6, this is iterable. And F is equal to string, this is also an iterable. So when we talk about A and B, 10 and 10 are not the iterables, but 5 and 6 are the iterables. High is also an iterable. 5 and 6 iterable, high is the iterable. So what happens when we store them into memory? Let's see what happens. Suppose if we store A as A contains or A representing 10, B representing 10. So 10 is an integer and both the variables A and B are pointing the same memory location. The memory location of 10 is 100, means A and B, the variables, are pointing to the value 10, which is the integer. Integer is not the iterable. Okay, so A and B can point the same value and on the same address. Similarly, when we move ahead, like 5 and 6 and 10 is immutable also. Integer is an immutable object. Similarly, when we talk about 5 and 6, this is the list which is not immutable. Okay, so 5 and 6 is not immutable, and that is why C5 comma 6 will occupy the address 200, and another list whose values 5 and 6, which is again a list. Since this is mutable, so it will occupy another memory location. So C will occupy 200 memory location, and E will occupy another memory location, that is say 400. So these memory locations we have assumed. This is not basically in real. So when we talk about these memory locations, we can do it in the practical. But here 10 A and B will pointed to by the address 100. 5 and 6 and means C and E will be pointed to by memory address 200 and 400. And as far as D and E are concerned, HI, this is again immutable string, which since this is immutable, so memory locations can be the same like A and B. So if we draw the arrows, so you'll be able to understand the relation. So A and B will find the same address location, C different, D and F same address location, and E is different address location, because list is mutable whereas string is immutable and integers are immutable. And if we print the address ID of these, means 100, 200, 300, 400 are the IDs basically. So if we want to print the ID of A, then if we print ID of A, it will print 100. If we print ID of B, it will print 100. If we print ID of C, it will print 200. And if we print the ID of E, it will print 400, which is different from the ID of C. But the ID of D and F will again be the same, means 300, because this is immutable. So if we print the ID of these variables, so print ID of A will print 100, ID of B will print C will print 200, and ID of F will print 300, and ID of E will print 400. So this is how ID function works in Python. So this is how we can concatenate list to list, tuple to tuple, and list and tuple. List plus tuple or tuple plus list is the same. List plus a string is different, so not possible. So two different types when we concatenate, not possible. But we can convert, and after conversation, if we convert tuple into list, then it is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. So hope you understood the concept of concatenation, concept of function ID. So we'll discuss more on append and extend as well in my next video. And this time, this is all for the day, because we have come across with iterables, we have come across with concatenation, we have come across the ID function. Now we'll discuss append and extend in my next video. So if you understood the concept, kindly share it with your friends and the people whom you like. And if you like, then kindly share and subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get the notification as and when the new video is created. So we'll meet. Bye bye.